Hello there folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel, a place where I discuss different topics on spirituality, deeper introspection, deeper understanding, game interpretation, dream interpretation, and several other aspects and topics that can be simply taken into account. And in this video I was nudged to discuss on a topic called the fake gurus, but I'd be specifically interested in the young face gurus, particularly those who appear on the internet with a lot of scammy points, about how they made millions by the age of 20. There's actually one who said they did that by the age of 16, and so long and so forth. And the problem, well, point is, people have been, creating words to better understand things and to communicate in between one another. But the point is, they're kind of forgetting what those words would actually mean, because the meaning can be easily lost in time. Okay, so these so-called gurus, okay, they are called so in kind of a bad way, which makes people have a kind of repulsion towards the word guru. Okay, so they won't feel too comfortable around someone who is basically a guru. Okay, because there are such people, like real such people. Sure, their numbers may be very maybe very small, and these people usually live more or less in solitude or in places where they don't annoy others and they aren't annoyed by others. But the point about this is, the term guru is a term that points towards liberation. Basically, a guru is someone who can guide people on a certain path just because they in their own life know those paths, or that path specifically, and it's much better to be guided by someone. Now, the problem that many people face is the question, is that person trustworthy? Now, no one will know from the beginning if someone is trustworthy. Okay, it's just a point of doing your own research and using your own intellect, intuition, and inner resources. Because the point is, society has been teaching us to become so disconnected from ourselves that basically we can't trust ourselves at literally anything. So basically what happens is we are easily fooled by everyone or anyone, mainly because we don't know ourselves. And you know how things go. If you don't know yourself, you'll easily fall for what everyone else says. Because if you don't know your talents, if you don't know your capacities, you'll always feel bad that someone tells you that you suck. But when someone tells you that you suck, why not, conduct a simple, self-analysis? It's like, okay, you suck, someone says, but should you really listen to that? I mean, except cases in which you might really suck, or you have done something wrong, yes, but the point is, wrong is something that's subjective, so when you do something right for you, it's always gonna be wrong for someone. So why not conduct a self-analysis? Okay, is that gonna make myself less than what I really am? No, it's just a dumb word that has no meaning, but unfortunately we've been programmed to give meaning to that. Like, if someone tells me that I suck, it won't me less of a programmer than I am. Like, I know I'm not a good programmer, but at least I know that I do know some few things, so it won't make me less of a programmer, less of a game designer, less of an introspective person, less of anything that I am. I am who I am, and nothing and no one can change that. So the point about this is, people not knowing themselves, okay, also end up in a lot of ignorance. Now, the problem with ignorance is that many people are fooled by the high level magics, okay, the dark magics, which is nothing else than manipulation, which says ignorance is bliss. In this world, everything is taught in reverse because, the truth can never be taught. You'll never ever learn the school. You'll never learn the truth in schools or whatever. The point is, you will only learn what others believe it's the truth, And that's the same thing, unfortunately, that's going on in sciences. Okay? So, what's the point with sciences? Well, I've been somewhat against sciences because science seems to be just like the new Bible. You either believe in it or you're kind of a heretic, okay? Or you're gonna be called nowadays a constipational theorist or something like that. So, the point about that, yes, it is some people's opinions, but when it comes to life specifically and medicine, psychology, psychiatry, and the such, you can't treat other people like yourself because everyone is different, okay? When you deal with life, each and every animal, each and every living being is completely different. Even ghosts are different, so why not living beings, okay? So the point is, um, this idea of ignorance is bliss, for example, is just one point of, the truth in reverse, because the truth can only be realized. Someone can tell you the truth, and so long as you haven't realized, you can only accept it for, I don't know, something, okay? Like, you can take it for granted, you can ignore it, you can share it with others but not take it into account necessarily, or you can believe a bit of it, but unless you realize it, you won't be having that, aha moment, that golden nugget, okay, moment. So, the point about this is very simple, it's very easy to understand. If ignorance is bliss, I don't see anyone asking themselves whose bliss is that, okay? Because it's definitely not the ignorant people, okay? It's not the ignorant people's bliss, okay? It's more likely the bliss of those who rule over those ignorants, okay? Because, well, ignorant people are just like sheep. But unfortunately, sheep are kind of always led to the slaughterhouse, or, like any or many innocent targets, they're always, bullied by the better, and they're always ruled by the ones who have ego issues, and they have certain, let's say, societal disorders, okay? Now everything seems to function for a certain specific reason. That's how a lot of people say nowadays, although I kind of agree against it, or more like neutrally towards it, because reason and meaning are something subjective, okay? People give meaning to things just because it suits them in a certain way and it suits their beliefs even more. As I've been saying in previous videos, the point is very simple. When you create ideas, okay, a belief is nothing else than accepting something without the necessity for proof. That is why so many people believe the news, okay? But it's just a belief. They don't need proof for that. I mean, just because someone tells them on television something, it's proof enough for them, but there is no palpable scientific proof on that. It's just some presenter telling you certain stuff. It's not necessarily something correct, it's not necessarily something real. But, misinformation has been away for so long, and, well, fortunately, things are starting to collapse. Now, the point about this even further is that, well, ignorance means being lifted out of real life, okay? Because when you're ignorant, you're not living in this life. Education, okay, coming from Latin, means to pull out, okay, of ignorance, okay? It's basically a liberation, okay? Now, what's the point with this and gurus? Well, a guru is also a liberation, okay? Now, education is a sort of liberation for the mind, okay? Because by becoming educated, okay, you are creating certain links, okay? You are creating certain attachments or certain personalities, okay? Now, personality means when you adopt a certain way of being, because for whatever action you do, you need a certain ego, you need a certain persona, okay? But the problem with many people is that those personas, which, well, persona means a mask. It was the mask that, ancient and middle-aged actors would put on their faces, so that they would embody different natural elements, deities, and the such. So, speaking about deities, okay, the aspect, okay, of a persona, okay, it becomes a personality, okay, when the person adopts it, but for whatever reason, they can no longer pull the mask off, okay? So, the point of this is very simple. When people create beliefs in their mind, I've been presenting this in previous videos as well, when people create beliefs in their mind, they kind of create these kind of pantheon, okay, in which these beliefs become like deities to them, okay, because a belief can become so powerful that you're gonna bow before it. That's how strong the mind is, and if people give so much meaning to the mind, it simply screws them over in so many ways. Ancient masters said that there are thousands of layers to the mind, each one with their own capacity to simply screw you over, okay. Why do you think society nowadays places so much accent on the mind and just the mind only? Because, well, once you are trapped in that prison, which is basically called the matrix, okay, that is what the matrix is, not society. The matrix is basically your mind, which is untrained. Because when your mind is untrained, your emotions are untrained, you have no capacity to understand them. When you don't understand those, they easily turn against you, so they create this matrix, okay, this prison, okay, just like in the movie that you cannot see, hear, or taste, okay. So when you create these thoughts, okay, when you create these beliefs, you have to be very careful, because they can become, and most likely they will become, more important than even you, okay. So what's the problem with this? Well, it is a big problem, because you see, when these things become more important than you, okay, you will start worshipping those just like you would worship a deity. And then you start creating stories to fit those things, okay, and those stories are like the preachers, okay, they won't leave your mind. And if you would forget that deity, okay, that belief, those stories will constantly bring back to your mind that you have to think of those. And worse than that, you'll also further identify yourself with anything similar to that, okay. So these are strategies that gurus like this, you know, these fake gurus that appear on the internet, that they are making millions, right, they're showing you rented Lambos, and it's always funny that they keep their books in a garage. Like, why the fuck do they keep their books in a garage? It's like, I bet none of them actually opened any of those books. But, well, the reason why these have appeared and have been appearing is because people live in ignorance, okay? They are just like beacons, okay? They are not the dark ones, okay? Because dark means illuminated, but this is probably gonna fuck some people's minds up, because the dark works for the light in a way. But, well, you see, light cannot exist without darkness, in the sense that light still itself, on its own, it comes from darkness, okay? It's been scientifically proven that even us, what we are here, okay, we are coming from the cores of collapsing stars, okay, that became black holes. And after a lot of purging, we were simply jetted, our compatible material was jetted into space. And after long times, okay, the right coding, let's say, happened, and the universe simply does its own work, okay? Creation does its own work, and, well, it brings things into existence, okay? Creation is fully unconscious, and, well, it just follows the coding it knows. And based on that, it creates a variety of creation, okay? But it doesn't mean that we should remain unconscious, okay? Creation is like that because, well, it is creation, okay? If it would become conscious, it would be bad, because it would create, things based on subjectivity. Because consciousness is also subjectivity. You cannot be conscious and fully objective, okay? You'll always be at least 1% subjective, okay? Being highly objective is not a bad thing, because you show that you are not attached or identified with anything, okay? Now, many of these gurus are actually identified with their persona, okay? They're just people like you who, have a lot of insecurities and can't deal with them. But to speak like most other people, they come here with the purpose to wake others up to their ignorance, okay? All this pain, people losing so much money. I've also been the target of that and lost a lot of money. So the point about this is you're gonna be woken up and shaken into reality, okay? All this is just some kind of karmic debt repayment. Karmic imprints from previous lives, like unhealthy spending of money, or unhealthy beliefs towards money, most likely from poverty in other lives, or even this one, I would say more specifically this one, okay? So all these little young gurus, okay, they are just, having insecurities, okay? But what does this show? Well, this shows how sick this society is, okay? Because these are part of the generation that we have been breeding, okay? I mean we, not me, because I haven't bred yet. But the point is, um, our previous generations, okay, this is the result of their doing, okay? These folks are nothing else than abandoned ones, okay? They are abandoned, they are hurting inside, and they are fully attached to their new personality because they believe, okay, again, another belief, they believe that they cannot live, okay? That is why everything in this world is guided by lust, okay? Now, many people might take lust as something sexual, okay? But lust is not sexual. Okay, lust does not mean sex. Okay, lust means a very powerful belief that without something your life is shit. Okay, this is a high level of dark magic. Okay, or manipulation. If you don't believe me, just look at how advertisements are made nowadays. They create you all sorts of problems, but those only exist in your mind. At the same time, the advertisement also comes with the solution to your so-called problem. It's called problem reaction solution. Okay, they invent you a problem, you're going to react to it, and they also come as the holy salvators. Okay, the holy salvation, right? And this has always been like that. Okay, like after World War II, America came and financially helped Europe put itself back. Okay, it's always been a plan to do that. As you can see, it's always a plan to destabilize the Western worlds because, well, what would be the reasons? Okay, what would it be to be gained if you destroy the Western worlds? It's like a lot of diversity, okay? There's a lot of strength in that. And, well, it's the old continents that woke the planet up, okay? They brought progress to the world. Well, not in the most peaceful ways, but still, the point is that karma of the past is still repeating now because everyone wants to conquer, okay? And unfortunately, with so much wounded feminine energy, okay, which has drastically withdrawn, okay, everyone is fully in their wounded masculine, which the wounded masculine is all about becoming conquerors, okay? Look at the fate of Europe, okay? Christianity has almost depleted feminine energy, okay, banishing it almost completely, and well, it still existed in population, but then living in highly wounded masculine energy, Europe became simply conquerors. They brought the evolution of the world, but they also brought their karma to the world, okay? And now everyone is suffering from a certain god that exists somewhere up there, okay? The white-bearded fuck that doesn't have anything to do other than judge people, right? So all these scammers, okay, all these people are just playing you like a fiddle, or, well, trying to, because, well, there's so many of those because look at how sick society is. Everyone is having identity crises, which will become even deeper thanks to the COVID, because now everyone wearing a face mask, we kind of all look the same now. Okay, and only murderers and thugs would wear masks to cover their face, especially, back in the older times, like in the Wild Wild West and the such, right? So these government mandated muzzles don't do anything to protect you. They're just a laugh in your face, right? Just like these gurus, okay, their purpose is to pinpoint you, okay, to give you signals of how sick society is, how badly we have been raising our generations, and the younger generations are becoming more and more ignorant because their parents are ignorant, and without the love needed, the newer generations simply struggle more and more. It's not that they aren't strong enough to, survive, but if humanity doesn't open their eyes to realize that all these are nothing else than signs of a sick society, of abandonment, okay, wounded feminine energies, and no one being there to teach you how to heal, okay, how to make peace with yourself, well, a lot of people won't make it then, because so many people will simply go haywire, like we are seeing today, okay? A lot of the negativity of the world will be simply a lot of the karma that we have as a race will simply, and is still being, and will always be purged, okay, and it will become more and more accentuated. So at this faster and faster pace, a lot of people will simply go nuts. Now these, everyone, you'll see that they are more and more struggling. Okay, even the TikTok folks, the social media bound folks, they're all becoming more, you know, ecstatic in a way. Okay, like I can say more Brownian, let's say. Okay, they're uh, desperate, let's say, because as the vibration increases, subconsciously they know that it's kind of their end of times, because whoever doesn't match that higher vibration, they will simply go haywire. It will be a lot of people who will simply not be able to cope with that, but well, the karma of our race has to be cleansed, and there is no other way. Now, with this is easy to understand, because, well, we all have to participate in this, but, well, the Arabs say maktub, it has been written. So there are the folks who take part in this, okay? These fake gurus that you're seeing, they are suffering a lot on the inside, despite the display of, happiness and fulfillment, and, just like Monica from DDLC, right, Doki Doki Literature Club, faking confidence doesn't make you confident, okay? You can read some of those in the eyes, okay, like the way they are waving their eyes, and the way they are performing certain gestures and the such. There is no such thing as a get rich quick, okay? You have to learn a lot of skills and practice them, okay? Any person who's been working, any millionaire, any billionaire will tell you that, okay? And usually it starts with an ingenious idea, but you have to nurture that idea and keep to it, okay? Most people kind of abandon midway or far before they even reach, midway. So the point about this is these gurus are also part of the people, the unconscious people who are suffering, because the unconscious people will will kind of save the world, okay? They will be the ones who will offer for the vaccinations, and they will be the stepping stones towards other people's waking up. You have to wake up, you have to make peace with this, because there will be a lot of people who will die. Okay, sacrifices must be done so that ancestral karma will be cleansed. Other than that, far more will die. Don't forget, if if a bird has to migrate, okay, to avoid freezing to death, okay, if any of its cubs cannot follow it, well, it will leave them behind, because it's for the better of the others. So you have to understand there always has to be something left behind. I've made a video recently about life, or living life as a bomber, okay? Like a bomber aircraft. You have to understand we all have our own bombs, but sooner or later you have to drop them, okay? Because society will always put more and more on your back, on your wings, because you're not allowed to dream, you're not allowed to think for yourself, so you have to understand this point. You have to drop those bombs sooner or later by making peace with yourself, else you will simply live life like a bomber, flying slower and slower until you crash. Or until you get eaten by all sorts of illusions, and then, well, that's probably gonna be the end of you, because if you're living life in illusions, you're not living life as you should. So all this being said, this is again another video to wake people up, to show them different points, okay, different opinions and different aspects of my introspection. Feel free to like and subscribe and present your opinion. Feel free to ask me questions, and I'll make videos sooner or later on that. All this being said, you are loved and appreciated. Take care of yourselves, and, well, you are others. Become more introspective, and you'll see that all the answers you've been looking for are right there within you, barely waiting for you to stumble upon them. Okay? All this being said, you are loved and appreciated. I'm sending you hugs and love. Take care. Ferenc on board, signing out.